Welcome, everyone. We're just at 11:30 now. We're going to give it just a moment for other people to join, and then we will get started with our Cancer Journey Coach panel. Okay, let's see. All right.
I feel the same way, Tina Beach. I want to see you. Turn on your video.
Oh man, I just set up a new computer, so I don't know that I will. Oh, hi.
Thank you. I haven't seen Tina in 20 years.
At least.
Wow.
Why is it you haven't changed in 20 years? That's why we don't do the video.
You know, it's that filter on Zoom. It's really good.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I just set up a new computer. I guess I need to get on that. I haven't done that on this one yet.
Yay, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Is that the no wrinkle filter?
I think so. And I'm also sitting further back. So.
There literally is a filter you can say enhance my image. And I feel like it's like the soft light, like from the 1940s movies, you know, it just makes you look like glowy.
I like the one that it puts lipstick on you.
Oh, right.
So those of you that are just joining, if you want, you can just in the chat, just put your name and where you're calling in from, and just like a quick blurb about your relationship to the cancer journey or how you found us. That would be awesome.
What brought you here today?
Yeah, look right here. Actually, I'm gonna start. Shariann, can you watch the waiting room while I'm just gonna put this up so everyone can kind of see what it is we're asking for. So, there we go. If you could just your name, location, your experience with cancer, patient, caregiver, practitioner, survivor, and then we can go ahead and, oh, nice, Amy, oncology massage therapist. I wish I had known about you. Oh, whoops. I did not mean to do that.
Tina, you're in Seattle now.
I am actually on Bainbridge Island.
Ooh, love that. And Andrea, welcome.
Okay, so Giovanna, also from Canada, another Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor. Me too. So, okay, well, welcome everyone to our panel today. We've got just about an hour to spend with some of our certified coaches. And just to get everybody grounded, first of all, my name is Coughlin. I am a certified cancer journey coach since, believe it or not, 2016, so 6 years now. And I work with the leadership team at CJI. I do some of the training as well as working with Shariann in our ops department, supporting all of our coaches. And what we want to do today, what we're hoping the experience you'll get is really an introduction of who we are, but a real sense of what we do, why we do it, what it means to be part of this community. Really excited for you to be able to hear from, in particular, April and Shelyna, because they've been through the program. They're certified coaches with us. And really learning about what our programs do and how they can really help you both personally and professionally. And most importantly, we're going to create an open forum where you can ask whatever questions you might have about the Cancer Journey Institute and or becoming a Cancer Journey coach. So we are the nation's first cancer coach training program. 10 years in business now, and we are global. We have coaches obviously here in the US, Canada, Poland, Switzerland, Italy, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and actually soon to be Singapore. I didn't add that on, and I just remembered that this morning. We are accredited through the ICF, which really is the gold standard of coaching accreditation worldwide. And in addition to the ICF, we also are approved through the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. And I'm super proud to say, well, not we, our co-founders for the Cancer Journey Institute, both Shariann and Carrie Lehman, wrote the book about the cancer journey, the call of cancer. And it really is about a loving pathway to wholeness, healing, and transformation. How do we make meaning out of our cancer journey? And today, let's see, we had you introduce yourselves. So today our panel, we have Shariann, who is the founder and CEO. We have April, who is a certified cancer journey coach, program leader, and program ambassador, and helps get folks enlisted and enrolled into our programs. And Shelyna, who is also a certified cancer journey coach and another one of our program leaders who leads. They both help us lead the training programs that we have here. So I am going to now ask Shariann, April, and Shelyna to just introduce themselves, what brought them to cancer journey coaching, and just a little bit more of an introduction of who they are, what they do. So Shariann is our founder and CEO. You want to kick us off?
Okay, I'll make it short and quick. I am, as Mary says, the co-founder. And what brought me here is I'm a 5-time cancer survivor. And it was almost a natural progression because I can't not do anything with my life experience to do what helped me get through my cancer journeys and provide that for other people out there. So I started with being a life coach and said, great, it's a fabulous community and there's more. And after going through 5 bouts, it's like this was just the natural place for me to go. And so here I am. We created the programs. We're in our 10-year anniversary. I gotta stop talking. And we just love what we do and we know what we do. And we do it really well. That's it.
Great. Thank you. April.
Hi, everyone. So let's see, I'm a cervical cancer survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 29, so a very young cancer survivor. And after going through such a traumatic experience at a young age and feeling really alone, I was seeking meaning and just wondering, like, what is out there? What can I do? How can I find people that I can support the way that I was not supported? And it was very clear to me that in the clinical setting, we're very well taken care of. And then that moment you ring the bell and walk out into the real world, suddenly you just have to live your normal life. And that's not real. There isn't a normal life and we don't know that. And so for me, it was really finding meaning in the journey and understanding what there is for me in this next phase of my life. And so I thought I'm going to be a cancer journey coach, and not realizing that there was other people that thought this too, found the cancer journey and was just totally elated to realize there was this whole community out there. And I've just never felt more connected and accepted than I do in this program and in this community of people. So super happy to be here and in all the capacities of teaching and helping potential students come to us, and having been a certified coach.
Awesome. Thank you, April. Glad you're here. And Shelyna, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I used to work as an occupational therapist. So I would work with people who are diagnosed with cancer. And so if I'm honest, I felt like I knew a lot about cancer. And then about 15 years ago, my dad was diagnosed, and I became his health advocate, accompanying him to doctor's appointments, learning more about cancer. And then my mom was diagnosed with cancer and I became her health advocate. And then 5 years ago, I got the shocking diagnosis of having breast cancer. And so that's when I realized I really didn't know and understand cancer until I actually experienced it. And it gave me a whole new appreciation of the disease and its impact. So I went through my treatment somewhat like a warrior. And it was after that I started really wanting to share my experience and help other people going through the cancer journey. And so I was talking to a friend and she said, "Oh, it sounds like you want to be a cancer coach." And I said, "Really? A cancer coach? What's that?" And so I started Googling. And the first thing that I found was the Cancer Journey Institute. And I set up a call with Shariann. And honestly, my life has changed since that conversation. And I'm so glad I had that conversation and I took the certification program because honestly, it's really changed the way I live. That's a little bit about myself.
Awesome. Just a little bit. It changed my life. Okay. Thank you, Shelyna. So we do want to open it up for questions. I received a couple ahead of time. So I would invite you, you can either raise your hand, just speak out. If you prefer to put your question in chat, we can read it from there. But anybody want to get us started? Okay, well, let me read a couple that we got and see if that sparks other questions for you. So one of them was just really, how would you describe the certification experience and what you learned, sort of your best takeaway from that process? So Shelyna, you started to sort of highlight that. Would you mind just answering that question? And then we'll hear from April.
So the question is, what was my biggest takeaway?
Yeah, just what did you learn from that experience and what was your best takeaway?
Yes, there's so many, Mary. I'll share a couple. I think the first one is that I matter and I have value, and how the tools that I can use to live intentionally, despite the circumstances and the position that I'm in. So it's given me back my control and my power to not only practice gratitude, but to practice acceptance and compassion of myself and others.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. April, what would you add?
That was so beautiful, Shelyna. Thank you. That gave me chills. Yeah, I love what you just said about that I matter, because I think that really is such a solid pillar that we can hold on to and that we all want and need. And I feel like for me, the program was really just an introduction to this community, that I'm not alone, that I had never been with so many people who had been through a cancer journey in whatever capacity that was for them. And for me, that just really locked in this feeling of belonging and just deep belonging to the community and my journey, and that we all walked this, a similar path, but also different, and are seeking the same thing, that we're all trying to find this deep meaning of why did this happen, and what is my gift that I can offer now after going through this experience. And before coming to the training, I did yoga training and trauma-informed yoga. So I had like a real deep feeling of like the physical work that we do, and really what I was seeking was that emotional support and processing. And so just to be among a group of people that understand how important that process is for us is just so invaluable.
Yeah. It sort of sounds like both of you were searching for how you could help others and really experience that transformation yourself.
That's exactly it, Mary. And that was so unexpected, because I thought I had processed everything. I was good to go on. But little did I know, by going through the program and learning the tools to help others, I was transforming them because of the Cancer Journey Institute's model of experiential learning. And so that was a big surprise and such an amazing experience for me personally. And I think April Felt like
Yeah, I'm just nodding. in agreement.
yeah.
And me too, by the way. I had the
Yeah,
exact same.
I
So,
mean,
um,
it really did just, I'm just speechless because it really, all of that, yes. Shariann, go ahead.
So one of my big takeaways, which we didn't intend when we started this program, was to we thought we were just teaching individuals tools and skills and how to be with cancer individuals. But one of the things that we insist on is that everything that you learn, you have to experience yourself, because how can you know the impact on your client without having experienced it yourself? And so I thought that was a very logical request. And then what happened was this incredible transformation, because cancer is a transformational journey, but it doesn't have to be done while you're in the journey. And by just going through the program as we created it, like everybody changed and transformed. And it wasn't like, oh, I was here and then I'm over here. It was like, I was here and then now I'm here.
Yeah.
And that, we don't even say that a lot when we're talking to people, but that is kind of this wonderful side effect that you get, like kind of a bonus. And so that still blows me away of the transformation that the coach trainee actually gets going through the program.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that's where I started to actually heal emotionally. And the funny part is, like I said, I didn't recognize I hadn't processed, or I would have benefited from healing. So that was the big wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That was the invaluable experience, was going into this thinking, okay, I'm going to create this career path. This is my new career path. I'm learning these skills, and this is an educational program to learn these skills. And what I got out of it was just so much love and support for myself, and how, and yeah, like Shelyna, I just didn't know that there was so much unprocessed emotion and stuff in my journey that needed to be processed. So yeah, the byproduct was, and to me was the best part, was having this personal development and personal growth program. And
kind of baked into the training program.
It's an
addition to all the skills.
So, so Shariann, we actually do have a question from Tina. What are some of the attributes and or skills and experiences necessary to become a cancer journey coach?
Good question. First is willingness to, here we go, willingness to be vulnerable. And willingness to lean into your intuition. I mean, those two things would put you at kind of the front of the line. And I know that probably sounds really weird, but to be vulnerable with our client kind of opens the door to them being vulnerable enough to show what's real with them, so that they can do the work that's necessary, and that they can really tap into what needs healing. I mean, I say the word and people are like, what does vulnerability mean? It just means that you're standing undefended because there's nothing to defend.
Yeah, it's almost like we really want everybody to be exactly who they are. That's probably one of the most important things. There's not one way to be a great cancer journey coach the only thing I would say is being authentically you, which requires vulnerability to trust that.
Which is actually the magic in every coach's way of coaching, because they get the tools and the concepts and the frameworks and the models. It's what they bring to it that makes it so special. And it's really surprising to me. There's a lot of surprises through the last 10 years of doing this, but the surprising part is your clients come to you because they need what you have to offer. And so I'll have a different client than Mary, than April, than Shelyna. And that's great, because Mary's got stats that show you that there's a ridiculous amount of people who will be diagnosed this year and have been diagnosed in the past.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're very needed. Right. Yeah. Thank you. So here's a question from Tina. I'm sorry, from Giovanna. Can you please tell us about your personal coaching businesses and how you have created them? So April, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, I think I would say, you know, for me, my personal business is really based on referrals and through my friends and family and people that I know. And I find that my clients are more qualified when they come from somebody that I know, because I feel like there's this level of trust that's already met. Like, oh, I know April and she does this and this is her experience. And so I've had clients that way. And then the other piece is from the cancer journey. One of the bonuses of being a certified coach is that you actually get leads from the company. So we are primarily a training program to train coaches, but we also get lots and lots of people that are interested in having a coach. And so because we have such a big group of certified coaches, the Shariann and Mary will actually distribute those leads. So I have some clients through the cancer journey, and they're amazing. And some of them, I mean, I have one that I've had for a year and a half now. And we just talk every week, and it's great. And so building the business is, you know, it's a slower process, but it's really what you put into it. So it's the time and energy you put into putting yourself out there, the content you're creating, whether that's via Instagram or Facebook or blogging, or maybe you're connected to a cancer, you know, your cancer center that you attended, and just kind of sharing what it is that you do. And so that for me is really more of like a high touch, like personalized experience.
Great. Yeah. And Shelyna, I know you've had a lot of luck with social media, et cetera. So would you?
Yeah, so I was going to say also leads from the Cancer Journey Institute. And yeah, so the one that I've been working with has been over 8 months now, and she's continuing. For me, it's really word of mouth. And then I do post on social media regularly about my learnings, or, you know, aha moments or takeaways from my clients, because I feel that is so that's beneficial for not just that person, but many of us, their takeaways. And so I would say social media, and then also what I was going to say is part of the certification program, if I'm not mistaken, Shariann, because I've taken a few programs with Cancer Journey Institute, but they have a phenomenal program called the Panic to Powerful Workshop. And so we were trained on delivering that workshop. And so I do that workshop with another Cancer Journey coach of mine for like 3 or 4 times a year. And we offer that complimentary. And then often that leads to clients signing up because they want more. They've experienced the tools and they want more. So that's another avenue to gain clients.
Great.
And I'm just going to jump on to what Shelyna said. So the reason why we teach the Panic to Powerful workshop, which is a 90-minute workshop, is that's how I originally got my clients when I first started doing this work. So we teach it to our certified coaches to use as a marketing, but also a community give back. We don't charge. I started doing it with just the local cancer centers, and then I got into the cancer organizations that were local. And then when we started having Zoom, we started doing it virtually, and then so the reach of that grew.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So I got another one here in chat. There's 2 kind of about the program. So within the program coursework, what are some of the key learning points? And then Andrea is also asking kind of for an overview of the training, and then as well as time commitment, cost, and certification requirements. So maybe Shariann, if you could start with sort of, you know, the coursework and overview of the training, and what are some of the key learnings or
Okay.
that we focus on?
Okay. Thinking. So we have the fundamentals, which is our 12-week program. And that one's focused on giving you kind of the basics. Just here's the basics. And if you have either some coach background or therapy background or some kind of psychosocial background, that's a nice add-on, or health coach background. That's a nice add-on to to your repertoire, to your toolkit. So it's a good, I won't say introduction, because you do get some really meaty tools that you can use. It's 12 weeks. There's only so much that we can teach you in 12 weeks, but there is practicum in there. And then we have our 8-month certification program, which goes deep and wide. So in that you get all of our tools, how to use them, when to use them, practice, 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 examples, demos. It's kind of like you get the whole soup to nuts of our program. And again, as the trainee, you go through all of this so that you know what it's like. And what do I want to say about that? That it is rigorous and intensive, but it's what I experience on this side. So I would love to hear what April and Shelyna say. What I experience on this side as the program leader is that the 2 hours a week go by like that. And they're like, whoa, what just happened? But the learning builds on each other. So you get one module and then you practice that, and then you add on to it and you get another one, and then you practice that, and it just keeps building. And our programs are concept, demonstration of the concept, debriefing that. So kind of pulling it apart and analyzing it, and then you go do it. And we just follow that cadence until you kind of get it really into your being, because what we want is we want really good coaches that come out after you're done with certification.
Yeah. I would just add too, key learning points. We take a really deep dive into what our version of emotional intelligence, really understanding emotions. We take a deep dive into what is actually that transformative experience? What is that journey? What happens to you? How do you start to name that and own it and really get the clarity of that question of who am I now that I've been through that? And we have many proprietary tools that we use to help people identify, recognize, and then truly stand in their power of who that new version of me is.
Yeah, I think that's great, Mariette. I would just add, like, as in the experience of going through the program as a student and then now also being a trainer, it was just amazing to go through the process with myself and learning all of that, and like now watching other coaches just progress. And it's just, I mean, it's like watching an entire garden just explode. Everybody's just like blooming and blossoming and so excited and effervescent. And it's just like, I feel honored to have that experience, to watch other coaches like really dive deep and unfold themselves and just really show their true colors and their natural talent and their uniqueness and what they have to offer their clients. And so, yeah, it is intense. There is a lot that you learn, but it's also flexible in the sense that, yes, we do content and, and then debrief and demonstration and you practice, but if something is not sticking, we go over it again. So it's not like this thing this day for this amount of time and that's it, right? It's a very flexible program where we want you to understand this. This isn't about just everybody get in the program, here's the syllabus, certified by. We really want you to understand it, and however you need to understand it, we'll do it. So that's where we have so many of us that are all training and assistant coaches, because we all have a different way of explaining stuff. And so I find that, some students understand things that I say better than they understand the way Shariann explained it, or Mary. And so I love that flexibility and having just a very like dynamic way of learning.
Yeah. The other thing I would add is, Shariann, you talked about kind of in fundamentals, we have tools that you can layer in. And my main business prior to being certified as a cancer journey coach I do a lot of leader and executive coaching as well as strengths finder, strengths coaching. And I use a lot of these tools just in every day because it's really about personal growth and transformation. So they are applicable. They're especially applicable and super helpful for anyone who's been on a cancer journey. And they apply to us also just kind of in our daily lives as we're looking at personal growth. Andrea, I want to get to all the points in your question. So time commitment for fundamentals is 12 weeks. As Shariann said, 8 months for certification. The cost, our fundamentals, we'll share this at the very end. So you'll see this, but our fundamentals runs at $24.95 for the 12 weeks. And our full on certification is $11,995. And that the certification requirements in that are, one, obviously attending the training. There are 4 supervisions so that we actually can see you put into practice the tools and the learning from and the coaching skills that you learn. So those so 4 certifications. Then there's a written exam to test content knowledge, and then a final exam where we observe you coaching the leaders. So that is all in the certification. And we actually, our intent is to get to help everybody become certified. So we have a lot of support and learning and structure around how to get through that process.
Yeah, Mary, I just want to reiterate, like what I think really makes Cancer Journey Institute stand out is not only are you like being educated on the tools, but like we've talked about, you're experiencing them and you're applying them. So even how you said, like, we submit 4 recordings of us coaching somebody, and they're done throughout the program, and you're given feedback by one of the instructors on, what you did wonderfully and observing your skills and what else is possible in this session. And so I really appreciated that personally because they're spread out. And so you have an opportunity to build on what the instructor is giving you feedback on. And even the written exam, I was like, oh man, written exam, but it's done with so much flexibility, and it was such a good review. Like when I sat down to do it, when I stopped my fear story to say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But when I stopped that fear story and I enjoyed writing the written exam so much because I was like, wow, I've learned so much material and this is such great stuff. So it's really comprehensive and very like application based.
Yeah, great. And we've trained over 100 coaches. I think we currently have, what is it, somewhere between 40 and 50 active coaches in the Institute now. So here's a good question. Thank you, Alia. Is the impact different for a caregiver than a cancer patient? And can you, I'm just, the impact of the coaching, I guess is what you're asking about. Is the coaching different for a caregiver than for a cancer patient? So Shariann, you want to talk about kind of the different perspectives, a cancer patient, a survivor, and a caregiver?
Right. So it really is the come from. We're just coaching people. So for those of you who are health coach people, if we're just coaching the individual, we're not necessarily coaching the cancer journey, but that is the circumstance. So we can't separate that. When somebody's diagnosed, whether it's the patient or when someone's diagnosed, everybody's impacted within that sphere of that person. So the cancer caregiver is also going through a cancer journey, but they're walking alongside their patient. And so they have different challenges like, oh, I can't fix anything. So I'm just going to do what I can, where the patient feels like, I've got all this support with my medical team, so we're more supplemental. With a caregiver, we might be their only support as they're going through their cancer journey. So their journey might actually be more intense because of the lack of support that's out there. And you, the coach, may be all that they have. But for both of them, you're the safe space for them to be real, meaning they don't have to impress you. They don't have to take care of you. they don't really have to care about what you think, but you have the skills and the tools to help them. And so they get to be really real. And because of that, we get to go deep with both of these people. So similarities and differences.
Yeah. Shelyna, you've been both a caregiver and a survivor. Do you have a perspective that you would share on the impact?
Yeah, but I haven't coached a caregiver.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my experience was definitely different, but I think, exactly what Shariann said. It's not like when we get a client, we look at their role. We just meet them where they are and what they want to explore further. It's not necessarily definitive of their cancer or their role, but it's what's coming up for you now.
Great. Thank you. So we have a question from Bruce. How often, this is interesting, how often is the journey done with the family and the client together?
Say that again.
How often is sort of the coaching done with the family and the client together to kind of experience that journey?
You can answer that.
Yeah.
I had a whole family, and actually what was really fun was doing them separate. So I did the husband, then I did the wife, and then I did the daughter. And each of them had a chance to just be what I was just saying before, really real. Like, here's what's going on. And I could be angry and I could be upset, or I could be really sad, or I could be really scared. And I didn't have to worry about how that was going to affect the other person. But then getting them, once they're in their place and they're really clear on who they are and their role and what the issues are, getting them together is just very magical, because they've had a place to process where they are instead of trying to do it all at once. So I say a combination of both is really lovely, but I really appreciated the separate one with each of them.
And on that topic too, I would say, I think it depends too on what other expertise you bring, right? Like we do partner with an organization that does family retreats. And we help them with how to use the learnings of the cancer journey roadmap and what we know to help the family process what's going on. So we do partner with an organization that does that. Right. Before I go into, well, I'll just keep going on the questions here unless somebody has one they want to actually ask. We got them in the chat. Okay. Next one is there a recertification within a certain time frame? I'm going to say not yet. We are looking as we grow our program and we continue to expand how many coaches we have out there. What would a recertification process look like? What we do offer though is kind of ongoing development and training. We do different seminars, we do monthly, we'll do different workshops. So we offer things to our coaches to continue their development.
Right. We also have, once you're certified, well, actually, once you're done with training, before you could be done with your content training and not be certified yet. Certified is when you've passed your written and your oral exams. But we have a community call every month where people can come together. It's just fun to be part of the community. And you know that I'm out here. Sometimes it feels like I'm alone because it's just me and my client, but I'm not. I have this whole community behind me. Yeah. And just one more tip here, or one more piece, is that when our coaches are going out there into the cancer world, meaning the cancer centers or cancer organizations, to present themselves, to be hired, or to lead a workshop or lead a series, that they can say, I'm part of the Cancer Journey Institute. And if that organization wants more than just me, Shelyna, or just me, April, or just any one of our coaches, they have the breadth of all of us. So if they say, okay, well, we're doing this event and we need this virtual event and we need 10 coaches. Do you got that? We got that. So you're part of a tribe rather than just me.
Mary, just quick, I know Bruce had a question that he posted a couple times and he has to jump off soon and he would love an answer. So
okay.
I think we touched on the question about with the family and the client together. And then his other question was, how is the journey similar to and different than health and wellness coaching? you want to touch on
So,
that,
I'll-
Shariann?
Shariann, you do that?
So my understanding, Bruce, maybe you can help me with the journey of the health and wellness coach, is we focus on specifically the mental, the mindset, the emotional, really deep in the emotional, because it's like you get cancer and here comes the bag of emotions. And the spiritual, which is the connection to higher power spirit, but also your spirit, your inner flame. And that's all. So we don't do exercise, we don't do diet, we don't do any of that. That's where you might see the complement of what we do to a health coach who does focus on more of the exercise and the diet and the lifestyle. We're dealing with what's going on inside here so that we can have you stand in your most powerful self. Because the emotional, mental, spiritual, and the physical are also interconnected. You can't heal one and not touch on the other ones, but that's what the medical teams have done for so long, that they're even realizing, oh, this is a space that we're not in. And I gotta stop talking, but I was in Italy in November speaking at a conference, and one of the oncologists came up during a break and he said, this is exactly what we're lacking. This is what we need. And then I left and they went and shut down. And we have a coach in Italy, and she's going to pick that back up when Italy reopens that.
Yeah. Great.
They're recognizing it.
Yeah, thank you for that reply. I'm really touched. My heart is touched as I listen to you explain that. I am a health and wellness coach. And I just like to reflect really quickly. I have a friend who's been battling uterine cancer, a rare form, for a couple of years, and weren't sure if she was going to be around. And when I offered to be of service any way I could, the most important way was just to be available to talk every once in a while.
Yeah.
That taking on something like, behavior change stuff, like you would in the trans theoretical model, was not where she was. She was
No,
getting to conserve her
right.
energy. So I'm putting all these things together. It's helping me get a perspective. Thank you very much for that. And you deepen my appreciation of what we can be doing as health and wellness coaches. I love that plan, be
Well,
working with-
and because she's on her cancer journey, she's focused on right now, not where what can I do for later. And so we're so focused on the present moment. And that's one of the things I think we do really different is we want our clients to be alive today, not waiting for when treatment's over or waiting for it next week. So we teach within our framework, it's called Make It Real Now, how to do that. How to have them live aliveness today.
Regardless of where they are.
Yeah.
Great. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bruce.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Bruce. I think it's really important to kind of, as I talk to a lot of potential students, of how this journey really can be, or this coaching can be really intertwined with other versions of coaching, because the idea of coaching is fantastic. And we all, I think, know as coaches or have experienced it that we all need one because it's so important for us to process whatever it is that's coming up in our life. And that the cancer journey just has a really unique way of really adding its tools and just really touching into that emotional piece and layering that on with existing training. And the health and wellness piece is a beautiful way to tie that together. For me, as being a yoga teacher before, working on physical part, it just felt like adding in this emotional piece was just like, boom, this is, people want this, they want to feel all of it. They want to feel the emotion part and then that physical lightness and release.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yes. They are complementary. They're not different. So, Amy, I see your hand, but I also had a note. Judd, I missed your raised hand. So, and then Alia. So, Judd, did you have a question you wanted to ask? Perhaps
Did we lose him?
he might have stepped away. So, Amy, why don't you go ahead and ask your question? Then Alia, I'll get you next.
Okay, this might be just a question that I need answered. I don't know. I'm trying to rectify the scope of practice I'm in right now. and the scope of practice that I will be getting if I do the 8-month certification. So that's kind of what's in my head right now as a big picture.
So just to clarify, you said the scope of practice you're getting in your current program?
So I'm currently an oncology massage therapist working very closely with social workers and oncology offices and oncologists. And I'm already in the cancer journey. And I'm curious what I could gain an additional scope of practice that I'm already in right now with this certification.
I can take a stab, Shariann, if you want, because I think based on what I'm hearing, Amy, I think what this would do is help you really clearly build some skills and leverage some tools to really help meet people on their emotional, mental, and spiritual journey as they're going through their treatment and their rehabilitation, so that it's more of a kind of that holistic approach and a way to help them on that personal journey as well as physical. Does that answer? No?
A little bit. I guess it's just the parameters of the education, I guess I need to learn more of. And that could be something that I could have a conversation later.
Okay.
Outside of this group, probably.
All right. Well, after this, we will send out the replay to everybody.
I know my internet stinks. Just the I guess details of the learning.
Okay. So the program outline and what the content, what the actual content is. Okay. So I do think we'll have a link where you can actually set up time to speak with one of our ambassadors. April is one of them, and kind of go through the syllabus and what the content is and what's in there. So, okay, thank you, Alia.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Hi, Alia.
Yeah, see you too. Just a question for the coaches. Has anybody made it personal, like a personalized coaching after you finish your program? Have you personalized some of the tools or added some of your own background or religious background or any expertise from your own way? Or because for me, I'm working with kids and I did attend the fundamentals, which added a lot of to my toolkit, but I morphed the program a little bit to cater for young kids and teenagers, and it added a dimension to it. I mean, I know I did not get the certification, the whole certification program, because I am a life coach before. I did take I'm a certified life TF. Yeah. So, but I'm still biting my sides. I should have went with your program. If I knew your program before I went to the other program, I would have taken yours before. But I know.
Okay, so it sounds like your question is sort of how do you incorporate this into any kind of current practice that you have that has maybe a different bent to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking your coaches, have they personalized their programs or added some extra tools to the program that or they took from the certification? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, Shelyna or April, would you?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think every coach will answer differently. I said earlier that I'm an occupational therapist in, I don't want to say my past life, but because I'm still a little bit practicing. So in my specific area, I'm trying to find, and this might be relevant to Amy, is that I'm trying to figure out a way to combine my skills for those clients who need occupational therapy as well as coaching. For example, they may experience fatigue or neuropathy, and as an occupational therapist, I can provide them with strategies to help them manage that. So it's definitely added more tools in my toolkit. The other thing I was going to say is I definitely use the material that I've learned as a coach from the Institute in presenting different forms of workshops, support groups, personal development. Like, it's just given me an avenue to be creative and to really expand. Like, if I were to put it simply, that's what it is. It's set such a firm foundation, and the support and backing I get from these amazing, the founder and the instructors is just phenomenal, because if you have an idea, they're always approachable. You can always reach out and say, I just want to explore this idea. And they'll say, yes, and think about this and think about this. So they really encourage you, and they help you see the possibilities, whether you're approaching a cancer center or support group. And so it's all up to you how you want to build it. Hope that answers your question, Alia.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll
April,
chime in just real quick too, that I think in just like the coaching tools, I really believe that all of us coaches sort of take our version of that tool and then make it into our own. And so there's really an opportunity to have this unique practice. Like, mine is different than Mary's and different than Shariann's and Shelyna. And we have so many coaches that do so many different things. One I was thinking of is Kelly, who uses like music therapy. So she's like doing coaching and music therapy, and she like loves to make these like games of, she like made a physical version of the cancer journey roadmap and had all of her patients like actually walk through their journey outside, like from one bush to the next bush, and each one was a section of the cancer journey roadmap. And like for me, I use a lot of my personal like yoga practice and doing meditation and guided imagery and breath work. And that's something that my clients like to do with me. So it's really taking all of this knowledge and just making it your own and your unique type of coaching. And so I think, and I love what Shelyna said about just that expansion, because even in like the other things I do in my life, I am able to just approach every person and that I come across paths with in my life through this new lens, and just more openness and acceptance on how to navigate being with them, a relationship with them, or business relationship with them. So it really just offers that expansion for sure.
Beautiful. Thank you. So Judd, I see you're back, and I think you had a question we didn't get to. My apologies.
It's sort of been answered, but and I don't quite know how to articulate it. There's actually two. One is, who am I to be a coach? But everybody keeps telling me I should be. You've been through so much, you know so much, and I can be compassionate, but I don't feel like I have the. I mean, I think, why would somebody come to me when they could go to a PhD psychologist? That's one. And then it's already been sort of answered, but I am doing a program currently with the Brave Thinking Institute, Mary Morrissey, and they offer a training for coaching, and I'm considering that. And I've been intrigued by the Radical Remission Group, although I haven't looked into it. And I just wondered how to compare those models, or how it would be different, if that's a fair question.
Of course. Yeah. Shariann, do you want to take that?
I had a thought. I mean, Alia said it when I was so touched when she said, if I had known that this was here, I wouldn't have taken my previous cancer coach training company, school, to be certified, because of our rigor and our breadth. I'm so proud of the emotional intelligence work that we do. I'm a CTI alumni, Cancer Coaches Training Institute. I think it's called Coactive Training Institute. I took it all the way back in 1999, so it was quite a while ago, but I'm still very attached to them. The coaching skills that we teach are actually theirs, and we have a special relationship with the Coaches Training Institute that gives us permission to teach their coaching skills. So that's one thing that you get. You get the Coaches Training Institute coaching skills, and we like to say that they wrote the book on coaching skills, because they are one of the founding companies that brought life coaching into the world. And that's one difference. The other one is because of the need to be really emotionally intelligent. And what I mean by that is that we need to be with the breadth of emotions that our clients come with, because they are all over the page. They can feel hopelessness and despair in one moment and also be incredibly angry at another. And if we, the coach, cannot go and be with them in these places, if we're uncomfortable with those, we're going to try to pull them into another emotion. You don't pull people to emotions. You have to let it flow through you. So you have to be able to sit with your client, to be with wherever they are, in service of them shifting on their own. And that's a big deal. I mean, we can think that we're doing it, and we kind of stretch our clients to try on another emotion, but it's like a rubber band. The moment that they leave you, they go right back to where they are. They'll show up the next week and they're in the same place. That's not our goal. Our goal is to help them stand powerfully where they are and to transform through their journey and become bigger and better and stronger, versus let me just fix this one little thing. So as my emotional intelligence spans, my range of the emotions that I can be with, the more I can be of service with my client. So I know we're highlighting this. We're not taught emotions when we're kids. We're not taught how to be with them, what that means, what to do with them, but they're messengers. And if we know that them to be messengers, then what's the message they have for us? And so we get into a lot of that. That's a really big differentiator of what we do. That in the making it real right now, living aliveness right now. I mean, there's a lot of individual benefits. I think one of the ones of late where we help our coaches find their particular why they're here in this world, so that they can do that with their client is another big one. So those are some of the things that are in the curriculum that we do that is different from other schools.
Yeah.
And I add something. I attended with these beautiful ladies the fundamentals, and even though it's cancer, you're talking about cancer journey and everything, it's a happy place. I mean, this is every time I joined the session, I was in the really dark place. My son was in the hospital, taking chemo, it's really bad. It was really bad. And my happy place was that every single week, that time that we had these 2 hours to sit and be with them. So if you have the time, you have the money, I would just go ahead, go for it. I mean, just go for it.
Thank you.
I promise
we didn't pay her for that.
And I just want to say, like, even when we are in the course, in the program, whether it's fundamentals or certification, there's no role playing. There's no case scenarios. We experience and use the tools with each other, presenting our own things that are in our hearts and in our minds. And so I think that's what made it so uplifting. Each time you finish the session, you're like, wow, I could be real. I could be real and just say what's in my heart and what's on my mind. So.
Yeah, thank you. And Jed, to your first question about why you and why people would come to you, I would just invite, your heart brought you here and you have something to share. This journey was part of your purpose. And that's what we help you uncover, is what is that special, unique grace that you have that can be in service to others.
I do have one point to add to that too, is that you have an experience, and don't discount that.
Yes.
Cancer experience. Here's what's different between clinical therapy and being a coach, is that a clinical therapist cannot share a part of them. There's almost like a
boundary.
Yeah, a boundary between them and their client. As coaches, we use our experience in service of our client. So if it makes sense for me to say, yes, that happened to me too. And here's what happened with me in service of helping my client, then that's okay. I haven't crossed a boundary or any ethics. It's okay within the coaching world.
Oh, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're right at the bottom of the hour. So thank you very much for, well, actually, I should pause here. Shariann, any last words before I close us out here as the founder?
You are more powerful than you realize, truly. And give us the opportunity to show you this.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So you will be receiving from us an email. Then, kind of next steps are, you can join us in one of our trainings. You can talk to one of our program ambassadors. There's information on our website about the trainings. We really would love to stay in conversation with you. Make sure you get all your questions answered. And again, you'll get the email with the replay. We very much appreciate you being here and hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.